Agatha Christie's For the Unexpected Guest.
It's this confounded fog. I've just left my car off the road into the ditch. I haven't the faintest idea of where I am. And where am I? Hello? Left the door open. I'm so sorry. There you go. Are you asleep? Good God! He is
dead.
You know! He's been shot through the head. Who? You shot him.
The telephone's over there.
Telephone?
If you want to ring up the police.
Few minutes one way or another wouldn't make any difference. They'll have a bit of a job getting here in this fog anyway. I'd like to know a little more. Who is he?
He's my husband. His name is Richard Warwick. I am Laura Warwick.
I see. Can I get you a drink? It must have been a shock.
Shooting my husband? It was fun and games. But I would like a drink. But who are you? How did you happen to come here tonight?
My name's Michael Starkweather. I'm an engineer. For the past 2 hours, nearer 3 I should think, I've been hopelessly lost. Driving around in thick fog, I ended up in a ditch. I found a gate, groped my way through to this house. I saw a light through that door. It wasn't locked, so I walked in.
The door opens and the unexpected guest walks in. That saying always used to frighten me as a child. The unexpected guest. Why don't you ring up the police and get it over with?
Not yet. I'd like to know a little more. Why did you shoot him?
I can give you some excellent reasons. He drank. He was cruel. I've hated him for years. What do you expect me to say?
You hated him for years, but something special happened tonight.
Something special happened tonight. So I picked up the gun from where it was lying beside him, and I shot him.
So you shot him as you hated your husband? It's a bit drastic, don't you think? You said you've hated him for years. Why didn't you leave him? Have you got children?
No, thank God.
Well then, why didn't you leave him?
Well, I have no money of my own. Now I will inherit all his money.
Oh, no, you won't. The law won't allow you to profit as a result of a crime. Let's go back a little. You've hated your husband for years, and tonight he said something that just pushed you over the edge. So you picked up the gun that was lying beside him. Why was he sitting there with a gun beside him anyway? That's not usual.
Oh, that. He used to shoot at cats.
At cats? Go on.
Richard used to be well known as a big game hunter. It was where we first met, in Kenya. He was a different sort of person then. Generous, courageous. The 2 years after our marriage, he had a terrible accident. He was mauled by a lion. He's been a semi-cripple ever since, unable to walk properly. They say misfortune improves your character. It did not improve his. Instead, it brought out all his bad points. So every night when we went up to bed, he would sit here. And Angel, his valet attendant, would bring his brandy and one of his guns and put them right beside him. And then he would have this door wide open. He would sit here, looking out, watching for a gleam of a cat's eye, or a dog, or a stray rabbit. But he shot quite a lot of cats. Sometimes he used to shoot at the walls, making random patterns.
Didn't the neighbors ever complain?
A lot. We've only lived here for 2 years, you know. Before that, we used to live on the East Coast, in Norfolk. We had to move out because of the complaint from the neighbors.
He must have been pretty frightening to live with.
He was. His vindictive and sadistic behavior, too much of drinking, made life pretty much impossible for everyone in this house. Must we go on talking about all this? It's just putting off what's going to happen in the end. Why don't you ring up the police? Or do you want me to do it? Fine, I will.
No. We've got to talk first. We've got to find some way out.
We've been talking. There's nothing to talk about. And why do you care anyway?
Why, yes, why indeed. For the simple reason that you're an attractive woman. And I don't like to think of an attractive woman spending the best years of her life in prison. Now talk, and talk fast. Exactly who lives in this household?
There's Richard's mother, and there's Betty, Miss Bennett. She's the combined housekeeper and attendant. She's been here for ages, and she's very devoted to Richard. And then there's Angel. He's the valet and male attendant and takes care of Richard. And then...
And?
There's Jane.
Who's Jane?
She is Richard's half-sister. She's a darling, extremely affectionate and sweet. She's the reason why I couldn't leave Richard and go away. But she's not quite other people, you see. She's what you call slightly mentally challenged.
But you're fond of her, aren't you?
Yes, I'm very fond of her. She's the reason why I couldn't go. Richard always used to talk about sending Jane away to an institution. He would get her all agitated, begging, pleading, stammering, and then he would roar with laughter, lean back in his chair.
So, what do you suggest we do about this? Any ideas?
I don't know.
There's always the concept of suicide, but if you look at his forehead, there's no mark of scorching near the forehead. The bullet must have been fired from a certain distance away. There's accident, of course, but let's leave it at murder. Plain murder. Tell me, did Richard have any enemies? Perhaps from his tiger lion shooting days? We want someone with a grudge, someone who he kicked around.
I can't.
Think!
I can't think!
Oh, you know the kind of person your husband was. There must have been incidents, people. We want someone who made threats. Justifiable threats, perhaps.
There was this man whose son Richard ran over.
When was this?
About 2 years ago, when we were living in Norfolk. Richard was coming back from Cromer. He had too many drinks. He was driving through a small village, about 60 miles an hour, zigzagging. A small child ran out from a house there and Richard knocked him down and the child was killed instantly.
And they didn't get him for manslaughter.
There was an inquest, of course. Richard was exonerated completely.
But weren't there any witnesses?
Yes, there was the child's father. The whole thing happened in front of his eyes. I was not in the car, but a hospital Nurse Warburton was there with Richard. According to her, Richard was driving under 30 miles an hour and had only one glass of sherry. She said the whole thing was quite unavoidable. Everybody believed her and not the child's father. You see, anybody would believe her. She was the very essence of reliability and accuracy and careful understatement.
I see. But how do you know that she was lying?
The whole thing was very freely discussed by Richard after they came back from the inquest. He said, "Bravo, Urmi! Jolly good show. You've probably got me off from quite a long jail sentence." And she said, "You know you don't deserve it, Mr. Warwick. You were driving much too fast. It's a shame about that poor child." And he said, "Oh, come on, what's one brat more or less in this overcrowded world?"
The more I hear about your husband, the more I'm willing to believe that this was justifiable homicide rather than murder. And the father from Calgary, Canada? A nice long distance away. It'll take time to chase out, follow the lead. I think there are possibilities there. Have you got any newspapers about?
Newspapers? Yes, we have some here on the desk.
These will do just fine. And let's see here. There's some gum. Tell me, do you happen to remember the man's name by any chance?
I can't remember. He was a Scot.
Well,
His name was Mac something.
if you cannot remember, you cannot. Do you happen to remember the date or anything useful like that?
I remember the date. It was May the 15th.
Now, how on earth could you remember something like that?
It happened to be my birthday.
I see. In any case, we've got one bit of luck. This paper is dated the 15th. And that's an A and a capital Y.
But you realize what you're doing, right? It makes you
An accessory after the fact. Yes, I know. Well, let's put some gum here. And here we go. May the 15th, paid in full. And we shall tuck it into his jacket pocket neatly here, so...
Oh, give it to me. Give it to me, it's mine.
All right. So it's your lighter. It's nothing to get upset about. You're not going to lose your nerve now, are you?
Of course not.
Well, then do something without losing your nerve. First, go into the kitchen, put these in the boiler furnace. Then go up to your room, change into a negligee or whatnot. Have you got any aspirin?
Yes?
Well, throw them down the loo. Go to Miss Bennett's room or Mrs. Warwick's. Say you've got a headache and come to borrow some aspirin. That's when you'll hear the shot.
The shot?
Oh. I'll take care of that.
But you wanted to do this. You shouldn't get involved.
Come now. We all have our own form of, what did we say just now? Fun and games. Now, can you do what I just told you?
Yes.
Good. Off you go.
Going on? Have you all taken leave of your senses? Laura, what's happened? Jane? Jane! What is going on in this house?
It's Richard again. He's shooting at the frog. Tell him he's not to shoot and wake us all out of our beauty sleep. Be careful. He's dangerous. Richard, dangerous.
Calm down. It's Richard amusing himself as usual. There's nothing wrong. You all are imagining. But he's certainly very selfish, and I shall tell him so. Richard? Richard? Really, Richard? It's too bad at this time of night. You frightened us. Richard? Richard! Jane! Laura! Jane! Laura!
What is it, Benny? What's the matter?
Richard, he's killed himself.
Richard's been shot. Look, the revolver is gone.
Wrong!
Richard, there's someone outside.
Outside? Who?
What has happened?
Richard, he's been shot dead.
Oh,
Who are you? Where are you coming from?
I've just run my car off the road into the ditch. I've been lost for hours. I heard a shot. I was coming up to the house to get some help and find a telephone. And then someone came running out. They collided and they dropped this. Who is he?
He's my husband.
No! Don't touch anything. This looks like murder. And if it is, nothing must be touched.
Murder? It can't be murder.
What has happened?
Richard's been shot. Richard's been shot.
Jane,
What did I hear her say?
he said murder.
Who? Who was it? Richard! Oh, Richard, my boy.
Look, there's something on his chest. A paper with some lighting on it. Look.
No! Don't touch anything! May the 15th. Paid in full.
McGregor.
You mean the father of the child that Richard ran over?
Of course. McGregor.
Tom, looks like newspaper cutter.
No! You should call up the police. May I?
I'll do it.
No, I will.
Do you think the man that just ran away, do you think he?
Jane, calm down. Calm down.
Is this the police station? This is Richard Warwick's house. Richard Warwick has just been found, shot, dead.
Sergeant Cadwallader. Seasons of mist and mellow fruitfulness. Close bosom friend of the maturing sun.
What?
The kids, sir.
Have the fingerprint boys been done with their jobs yet? Any trouble getting the prints from the household?
No trouble whatever, sir. Most obliging they were. In fact, anxious to help, as you might say.
Mr. Richard Warwick?
The deceased, sir.
And these are the three Warwicks. Miss Bennett. And who's this?
Angel, sir. The male nurse attendant. And here are the other two sets.
Let's see. One on the cigarette lighter. That will be Miss Laura Warwick. One on the revolver. That's Mr. Starkweather.
Michael Starkweather. Sir, he gave Mrs. Warwick brandy and he carried the gun in from the garden. set of unidentified prints on the table.
Print of a man's hand flat on the table by the body.
And the blood impressions in and out of the French door. MacGregor.
Could be. But he handled the revolver with gloves. And you'd expect anyone sane enough to wear gloves.
An unbalanced fellow like MacGregor wouldn't think of that, sir.
I wonder. And according to Mrs. Warwick, there were no visitors to the house last night. That manservant would know.
Yeah. Shall I go and fetch him? Very well, sir.
Would you care to have some tea, sir?
Thank you. Henry Angel,
Yes, sir.
take a seat, won't you? Now then, you have been the manservant to Mr. Warwick for how long now?
About 3.5 years, sir.
How do you like the job?
Oh, I found it quite satisfactory, sir. However, Mr. Warwick was a difficult person.
But there were advantages.
Oh, yes, sir. I was extremely well paid, sir. You see, sir, I'm trying to accumulate a little nest egg.
That makes up for all the disadvantages. But what about all these guns and revolvers, eh? And shooting at animals?
Oh, it was his hobby, sir. He was what they call a big game hunter.
What time did you see him last?
About 9:45, sir. He had his brandy, a glass by his side, and a pistol of his choice. I arranged the rug for him and wished him good night.
But he didn't go to bed.
No, sir. He slept in that wheelchair. At 6 in the morning, I would bring him tea, freshen him up, and usually he would sleep till lunchtime.
And when you left him, you left his door locked.
No, sir. The door is never locked.
I see. How come you didn't hear a shot then last night? Isn't that rather remarkable?
My room is at a distance, sir. It's past the passage behind the beige door.
Isn't that rather awkward? I mean, what if your master decides to summon you in the middle of the night?
Oh, no, sir. He had a bell in my room, sir. A very shrill bell.
Did you know... Hello? Yes? Thomas here? Is it here, Edmondson? Some interesting news about MacGregor. We got a job in Alaska, traveled back from Calgary. The aunt he was supposed to leave the child with, when did she die? Oh, 2 months ago. Oh, I see. Oh, thank you, Edmondson. Seems MacGregor was quite cut up at the death of his child. Went about swearing revenge on Mr. Warwick. You were there at that time, I suppose? The child that got run over? The accident in Norfolk?
Oh, yes, sir. I very well remember that, sir. The little boy came running out of the house right in front of the car, and there was no chance of stopping.
Had Mr. Warwick been drinking?
I believe he had a glass of sherry, sir.
A glass of sherry? Well, I suppose that's all for now.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, by the way, can you fetch Mrs. Warwick for me?
Certainly, sir. Excuse me, sir?
Yes?
Was Mr. Warwick shot with his own gun?
That remains to be seen. Whoever shot Mr. Warwick collided with Mr. Starkweather as he was coming in the house. In the collision, he dropped a gun, and Mr. Starkweather brought it back inside. This gun.
I see, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, were there any visitors to the house yesterday? Yesterday night in particular.
Visitor, sir? I don't seem to recall at this moment, sir. I will quickly fetch Mrs. Warwick.
There's something fishy about this Angel fellow. I don't trust him.
Good morning, Inspector. Tell me, what progress are you making? This man McGregor, has he been noticed locally?
Good morning, madam. It's rather early to say that. And we are trying all the best that we can. No report of a stranger so far.
That poor little boy. The one Richard ran over, I mean. It must have unhinged the man's brain, perhaps naturally. I was told he was very violent and abusive at that time. But after 2 years, it seems incredible.
Yes, seems rather long to wait.
He was a Scot, of course. Patient, dogged people, the Scots.
And yet, your son had no preliminary warning. Any kind of threatening letter, anything of that sort?
No, I'm sure he hadn't. Richard would have said so. He would have laughed about it.
After the accident, did your son offer any kind of compensation to the boy's father?
Naturally, Richard was not a mean man, but it was refused, indignantly refused, if I may say so.
Quite so.
I understand McGregor's wife was dead. The boy was all he had in this world. What a tragedy.
But not your son's fault. I said, not your son's fault?
I heard you.
Perhaps you don't agree?
Richard drank. Then of course he had been drinking that day.
A glass of sherry?
A glass of sherry. Richard drank pretty heavily.
But he was exonerated.
That Warburton woman, she was a fool and devoted to Richard. I expect he paid her pretty handsomely too.
Do you know that?
I don't know anything, Inspector, but I arrive at my own conclusions. I am telling you all this now because what you want is the truth, isn't it? You want to know there was sufficient incentive for murder. Well, in my opinion, there was.
And yet, you didn't hear anything last night.
I'm a little deaf, you know. I didn't hear anything until I heard people talking and passing my door. I came down and Jane said, Richard's been shot, Richard's been shot.
And yes, about Richard, your son.
I loved my son, Inspector. I was not blind to his faults. Is there anything else you need to know, Inspector?
No, that'll be all, Mrs. Warwick. Thank you. Oh, I'd like to speak to Miss Bennett, if I may. I understand she's been with you for long.
Yes, she is the one who can give you the most answers. Very practical and efficient of Benny. Benny, you're needed here.
questions. I have a good deal to do this morning.
Yes, Miss Bennett. I wanted to hear your account of the accident that happened in Norfolk. The little child that got run over?
You mean the McGregor boy?
Yes. It seems you remembered the name very quickly last night.
Oh, I have a very good memory for names.
And doubtless the incident left a big impression on you. Were you in the car yourself?
No, I wasn't. It was Richard's hospital nurse at the time, Nurse Warburton.
Take a seat, won't you? Did you attend the inquest?
No, but Richard told us all about it once he got back. He said the man had threatened him, said he'd get even with him. We did not take any of that seriously, of course.
Did the accident happen because Mr. Warwick had been drinking?
Oh, I suppose his mother told you that? Well, you mustn't go by all she says. She has a prejudice against drink. Richard's father drank.
You think then Mr. Warwick's account was correct? He was driving well within the speed limit, and the accident could not have been avoided.
I don't see why that shouldn't have been the truth. Nurse Warburton corroborated with him.
And her account was to be relied upon?
I should sure hope so. People don't go about telling lies now. Not about that sort of thing.
What I'm trying to get at is this. In the grief and stress of the moment, a person can go about swearing revenge at the death of his child. But on reflection, if things were as stated, he would have surely understood that the accident was not Mr. Warwick's fault. If, on the other hand, there was furious driving, and the car was indeed out of control.
Did Laura tell you that?
What makes you think she told you?
I don't know. I just wondered. Is that all? I'm so busy this morning.
I'd like to speak to Miss Jane if I may.
Look, Jane's rather excited this morning. I would be much obliged if you did not talk to her, break it all up. I've only just now gotten her calmed down.
I'm afraid we must ask her some questions.
Why can't you find this man McGregor and question him? Surely he could not have gone far.
We'll find him. Don't you worry.
I hope you will. Revenge. It's not Christian.
Especially since the accident was not Mr. Warwick's fault, and it could not have been avoided. I'd like to speak to Jane now, if I may.
Jane? Jane, darling! Look, I don't know if I can find her. She may have gone out. Jane? Jane? You are not to worry her. She gets very easily excited and temperamental. And I'm worried you're going to upset her more with all this murder talk.
Don't you worry, Miss Bennett. We quite understand the situation.
Jane!
You want me? Do you want me? Have you got him yet? Will there be blood on his clothes?
No, Jane. You must behave yourself. Just answer the questions you're asked, okay?
Oh, yes, I will. But can't I ask any questions?
Of course you can ask questions.
I can ask questions. I can ask questions. I can ask questions.
I'll wait.
No thanks, Miss Bennett. We shall need you. And didn't you say you were rather busy this morning?
I'd rather stay.
I'm sorry. We only speak to people one at a time.
One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
Now then, I don't suppose you've been this close to a murder before, have you?
No. No, I haven't. But it's very exciting, isn't it? Have you got any clues? Any fingerprints or bloodsticks?
You seem to be very interested in blood.
Oh, yes. I am. I love blood. It's beautiful color, isn't it? That clear lead
I suppose it's got its humorous sides. But aren't you rather upset that your brother's dead?
Upset? That Richard's dead? No. Why should I be?
Perhaps you're fond of him.
Fond of him? Fond of Richard? Oh no. Nobody could be fond of Richard.
I'm sure his wife was fond of him.
Lorna? No, I don't think so. She was always on my side.
Your side?
Yes. When Richard wanted me sent away.
Sent away?
To one of those places, you know, where they send you. And you are locked up. And you cannot get away. Richard said, Lorna would come and see me. Perhaps sometimes. But I would like to be locked up. I will hate to be locked up. No one can lock me up now, can they? Not now that Richard's dead!
Calm down. Calm down, Jane. Calm down. Now then, I don't suppose you'll remember anything about the accident that happened in Norfolk. The little child that got run over.
Accident? Oh yes, I remember. Richard went for the inquest.
And?
We had Tapan for lunch. Hello, Lola.
Am I interrupting?
Of course not, Mrs. Warwick. Have a seat, won't you?
Is Jane?
Oh, I'm just asking about the accident in Norfolk. The little child that got run over, the McGregor boy.
Do you remember, Jane?
Of course I remember. I remember everything. I have told you, haven't I?
What do you remember about the accident, Mrs. Warwick? Was it discussed at the luncheon the day after the inquest?
I don't remember.
Oh yes, Lola. Richard said, one black monolith in the world didn't make any difference.
Please, Jane.
It's all right, Mrs. Warwick. What we are trying to do is get at the truth of this accident.
If I had an enemy, that's what I would do. I would wait a long time. And then I'll come creeping along in the dark with my gun. And then bang, bang, bang!
Quiet! Jane! Calm down.
Lala, are you angry with me?
I'm not angry with you, darling. But don't get excited.
I'm not excited.
Good morning, Sergeant. Where is Inspector Thomas? I'd like to speak with him, please.
That sounded like Mr. Starkweather.
Good morning. Good morning indeed.
Look here. I cannot spend all day kicking my heels in the police station. I've already given you my fingerprints and even brought them along here today.
Last night, Mr. Starkweather, did you put your hands on this table and then subsequently push that door open?
I might have. I don't remember.
Here are Mr. Starkweather's fingerprints and the ballistic report. The bullet that killed Mr. Warwick definitely came from his gun, sir. And as for the fingerprints...
Yes. Let's see. That seems to settle it. They're not your prints.
What's that?
Your prints are everywhere. But the prints on the table, they're not yours. They are a completely unidentified set of prints. And since there were no visitors to the house last night, they must be McGregor's.
McGregor's?
Mr. Starkweather seems surprised, sir.
I am, yes. I mean, I would have expected the man to have worn gloves.
He handled the revolver with gloves.
Was there quarrel or something last night? Was nothing heard but the shot?
Benny and I, we just heard the shot. But then again, we wouldn't hear anything from
Julian! Julian!
Good morning, Major Farrer.
Good morning, Inspector. This is most extraordinary business. Poor Richard. Laura, I've just heard. I'm most terribly sorry.
Oh, by the way, this is Mr. Starkweather. And this is Major Farrer, our next Member of Parliament. How do you do?
How do you do?
Mr. Starkweather was the one who saw the murderer leave here last night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Julian, you told Richard someone will shoot him one day. Didn't you, Julian?
Did I? I don't remember.
Oh yes, you did. At dinner. You know, you and Richard were having some sort of an argument. And you said, one of these days, Richard, someone will put a bullet to your head.
James,
Remarkable prophecy.
Well, Richard and his guns were pretty fair nuisance value, you know. People didn't like it. Laura, I know I should have come here last night. I really meant to.
but you couldn't in that awful fog.
No. I had my committee members over to dine with me last night. Has anyone got a match? Seems to have mislaid my light. Oh, there it is. Couldn't imagine where I had left it.
A nice lighter, this. Rather distinctive.
Yes, it works better than most.
Julian,
Yes? Laura, I'm most terribly sorry. If there's anything I can do to help,
Mr. Starkweather, can you shoot? I can. Richard used to let me die sometimes. Of course, I wasn't as good as he was.
Did he now? What sort of gun did he let you use?
Julian, I must speak to you. I must.
careful.
Oh boy, Tutu. I'm quite good at shooting. Ain't I, Julian? Do you remember the time you took me to the fair and I knocked 2 of the bottles down? Didn't I?
Yes, you did indeed. You've got a good eye. That's what counts.
Richard has lots of guns and air guns. Do you want to see them? They're in Richard's bedroom, do you?
Of course. You show them to us. You know, you're helping us a lot. We ought to take you in the force. Oh, before I forget, Mr. Starkweather, you can go about your business now. You've been cleared. Just keep in touch with us, that's all.
Surely. I'd rather go and see if they got my car out of the ditch yet. But I didn't see it on the way up here.
Oh, the drive comes up from the other side of the road.
I see. How different things look in daylight.
Julian, the lighter. I said it was mine.
You said it was yours?
Yes.
To the inspector?
No, to him.
To this fellow?
Yes.
Who is he? Do you know him?
Be careful. He might be listening to him. I don't know him. He came in last night. Just after.
It's all right, Laura. You know that I'll do everything I can to help, okay?
Julian, the fingerprints.
What fingerprints?
The fingerprints on the table. And on the pane of the glass. Are they yours? It's very kind of you, Julian. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other business things you can help us with. Are they yours? Think!
I don't know. They may have been.
Oh, God. What should we do now? The police thinks it's this man, McGregor's.
Well, then they'll probably go on thinking so.
No, but suppose...
Laura, it's all right, okay? Don't worry. I will see to it that nothing happens to you. Listen, I'm getting really late. Got an appointment to go to, okay? But like I said, don't worry. I will see to it that you're all right, okay?
You off now?
Oh, getting late. Election time coming on, you see. I've got an appointment to run to.
I see. I'm beginning to see.
What do you mean?
That's the boyfriend, is it? Come on now. Is it?
Since you ask, yes.
There are quite a few things you did not tell me last night, aren't there? That's why you picked up the lighter in such a hurry and said it was yours. And how long has it been going on between the two of you?
For some time now?
But you didn't go away together.
Yes. It's his career for one thing. It would ruin him politically.
Oh, surely not these days. Don't we all take adultery in our stride now?
These were special circumstances. He was a friend of Richard, and Richard being a cripple.
Oh, I see. Not good publicity. Want to try a little experiment? Where were you standing when you shot Richard?
Where was I standing?
Yes, go and stand where you were standing.
I don't remember.
Your husband said something to you, so you picked up that gun and you shot him. Show me how you did it.
I was upset.
Let's act it out. Come on, pick it up. Go on, pick it up. Pick it up! Oh, you did not snatch it up gingerly like that. You snatched up the gun and you shot him. Show me how you did it. Go on then, shoot. The gun isn't loaded. Shoot! You have never fired a revolver in your life. You don't even know enough to release the safety catch. You did not shoot your husband.
I did.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Then why will I say I did it?
Because it was Julian Farah who shot Richard.
No.
Yes.
If it was Julian, then why on earth will I say I did it?
Because you thought quite rightly, that I'll cover for you. If I thought you shot your husband, I'll be damned if I'm going to say a pack of lies to save Julian Farrar's skin.
Oh yes, you are. You cannot back out now. You've told your story to the police. You cannot change it. Whatever you know or think, you've got to stick to your story. You're an accessory after the fact. You said so yourself.
You little...
Mrs. Warwick will be here in a moment, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what is it?
Mr. Warwick's death puts me out of job.
Yes, I suppose it does. You will easily find another job. You're a qualified man, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir. I am qualified. And there is private work and hospital work that could be obtained. I know that.
You don't like having been mixed up with murder, and that is troubling you.
It could be put that way, sir.
Well, I'm afraid there is nothing anyone can do about it at this point. I'm sure Mrs. Warwick will give you a glowing reference.
I don't think there will be difficulty in that, sir. It is the matter of my conscience, sir. That is bothering me.
What in hell do you mean your conscience?
I don't think you quite appreciate my difficulty, sir. In the matter of giving evidence to the police, It's my duty as a citizen to help the police in any manner possible. At the same time, I wish to remain loyal to my employers.
You speak as though there is some conflict.
If you think about it, sir, you will realize that there is bound to be conflict of interest and loyalties. All relevant background might, I just said might, be very important in a case like this. Also, of late I have been severely suffering from insomnia.
Do your ailments have to come into this?
Unfortunately, they do, sir. I returned early last night and couldn't sleep well. You see, sir, owing to the position of my bedroom in this house, I have become aware of certain matters from last night, which the police are not cognizant.
Just what are you trying to say?
The late Mr. Warwick was a sick man and a cripple. It is well expected under the sad circumstances that an attractive lady like Mrs. Warwick might, how shall I put it, form an attachment elsewhere?
So that's it, is it? I don't think I like your tone, Angel. What you're really doing is suggesting you're in a position to stir up dirt against this family, unless what?
No, sir. Don't be too precipitate in your judgment. If you think it over, sir, you will realize my difficulty. At times, Major Farrar, I wish to set up something of my own. A small, not really nursing home, but an establishment where I can have 5 or 6 patients. Something of that kind. Unfortunately, although I have been accumulating some savings, that is not enough. So I wonder...
You wonder if I and Mrs. Warwick could come together financially in your assistance for this project. And you think you can accomplish that by threatening to stir up dirt against this family. Shame on you, Angel.
I can't dream of doing such a thing, sir. But, sir, I am in possession of certain specifics from last night, which might be of interest to the police.
What exactly is it you're driving at, Angel? You're driving at something.
You see, sir, as I said, I retired early last night, but I couldn't sleep well. As I was lying awake on my bed, listening to the booming of the foghorn, a very depressing sound indeed, I heard the shutter banging. I stood up and leaned out of the window.
You mean the window that...
As I leaned out of the window to assess the situation, I heard a shot. As I heard the shot, I woke up, and within minutes, there were footsteps on the path outside the window.
You mean the path that...
Yes, sir. The path that starts from the terrace, round the corner, past the window. The path that is not usually used by anybody, sir. Except by you, sir, when you come from your house to this house, taking that as a shortcut.
Go on.
You don't know how relieved I was, only to find you walking on that path, quickly hurrying back to your home.
I don't see any point in what you're trying to tell me. Is there supposed to be one?
I just wondered, sir, if you have mentioned to the police that you came over here last night to meet Mr. Warwick?
You know that the penalty for blackmail is severe, don't you, Angel?
In case you have not done so, and supposedly I get questioned about this, I know that the blackmail is not...
You know perfectly well that you couldn't have seen anyone in that thick fog last night. You simply invented this story to blackmail me. The police are perfectly satisfied as to who killed Richard Warwick, okay?
Perhaps I may talk about this little matter some other time, sir.
I'm sorry I kept you waiting, Julian.
Why did you send for me, Laura?
I've been waiting for you all day. There are things we need to discuss.
I've been up to my ears since morning. Besides, don't you see that it's much better we shouldn't meet now?
Why so?
Do you know Angel is threatening to blackmail me? He obviously knows about us. And he knows, or pretends to know, that I was here last night.
Oh God. Awful. What are we going to do now?
I don't know. We'll have to think.
Suppose he goes to the police?
I know. Think carefully. Either bluff it out, say he's lying, that I never left home yesterday evening.
But Julian, the fingerprints.
What fingerprints?
You've forgotten. The fingerprints on the table. The police have been thinking they're this man McGregor's. But if Angel goes to them with this story, he'll ask for your fingerprints, and then...
I know. I'll have to come up with some story. I'll have to say that I came here last night, and then Richard and I talked, and then we...
You can say he was perfectly fine when you left him.
How easy you make it sound. McGregor! What on earth made you think of cooking up that paper and putting it on Richard's body? Weren't you taking a terrific chance?
We had to think of something. I couldn't think. It was really Michael's idea.
Michael?
Michael Starkweather.
You mean he helped you?
Yes, that's why I wanted to see you, to explain it to you.
What's Michael Starkweather doing in all this?
He came in last night. He had an accident and found me here. I had a gun in my hand.
Good God! And somehow you persuaded him to help you.
No. He persuaded me. Oh, Julian.
I've told you. I will do everything I can. Don't think I won't, but
You have changed.
I can't feel the same. After everything that has happened, I cannot feel the same.
I can. At least I think I can. No matter what you had done, I would always feel the same.
All the same, Laura? Murder!
I will try never to think of it. And it wasn't premeditated, Julian. It was an impulse.
No need to go back over it, Laura. We have to think now what we've got to do.
I know. How awful. What are we going to do now?
If it comes to it, Laura, I'm prepared to take the blame.
No, I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
Listen, you mustn't think that I don't understand how it all happened, okay? You picked up the gun, didn't really know what you were doing, and only shot him because...
Are you trying to make me say that I shot him?
Of course not. Look, I told you, I'm prepared to take the blame if it comes to that, okay?
But you said you knew how it happened.
Look, I know you did not do it deliberately. You picked up the gun and only shot him because...
I shot him. Are you really pretending to believe that I shot him?
For God's sake, let's be honest with each other, shall we?
I did not shoot him. And you know it.
Then who shot him? Laura? Are you trying to say that I shot him?
I heard the shot. I came down and heard your footsteps going away. And there he was. Ted,
I did not shoot him. I came over here to talk to him. To say that after the election, we've got to come to some arrangement about a divorce. Just before I got here, I heard a shot. I thought it was Richard up to his tricks as usual. But when I finally came in, there he was. Dead. Warm. He hadn't been dead more than a minute or two. Of course I believed you'd shot him. Who else could have shot him?
don't understand.
Maybe it could have been suicide.
No, because...
La. Now that Richard's dead, all his guns and pistols belong to me, don't they? But Benny won't let me have them. She treats me like a child. Benny, I mean. Everyone treats me like a child. But I'm all grown up, ain't I? All things Richard had are mine now. I'll do what Richard did. I'm going to shoot cats and birds. I might shoot people if I don't like them.
Now, Jane, do not get excited.
I'm not excited, Lala. You all take me like a child. But you can't do it any longer. Not now that Richard's dead. This house belongs to me now. Nobody can push me around. If Benny tries ordering me about, I know what I shall do.
No. Jane, calm down. Listen, it's a very worrying time for all of us. And Richard's things do not belong to anyone until the lawyer has come and read his will. Do you understand?
I understand, Lola. I understand everything you say. I love you, Lola.
I love you too.
I love you very much. Lola, you are glad that Richard's dead, aren't you?
No, I'm not glad.
Oh yes, you are. Now, you can marry Julian.
No.
You wanted to marry Julian for a long time, didn't you?
Jane?
Silly old Benny.
Listen, Jane, be nice to Benny. She's having a lot of worry over all this. You must be nice to her.
All right, I will.
Did you have any idea of Jane knowing about all this? That's the trouble with people like Jane. You never know how little or how much they know.
Julian. Laura, have you seen Jane? I've been looking all over for her. Laura, the police are back in the house and they're extremely tight-lipped for some reason. I have a very sinister feeling about this.
I understand you have further questions to ask us, Inspector Thomas.
Yes, Mrs. Warwick.
There is still no news of this man McGregor.
On the contrary.
He's been found.
Yes.
So you've arrested him?
That'd be quite impossible, Miss Bennett.
Impossible? Why?
Because he's dead.
What?
John McGregor died less than 2 years ago. The night after he went back to Calgary from England.
Dead!
That makes a difference, doesn't it? It wasn't John McGregor who put that revenge note on the body. But it was put there by someone with knowledge about that accident, which ties it in very much with someone in this household.
About that little matter, sir? I wish to get something settled soon. If you could get your way out, sir.
I think something can be arranged.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
No! Inspector Thomas,
Yes, Major Farrell.
There is something I ought to have told you. Really, I should have told you this morning itself. But you are also upset. Mrs. Warwick tells me there are some fingerprints here you're anxious to identify. On the table, I think. In all probability, Inspector, they are mine.
You were here last night, Major Farrell?
Yes. I came over here last night, as I often do after dinner, to have a chat with Richard.
And you found him...
Very moody and depressed, so I did not stay long.
What time was this, Major Farrell?
Can't remember. 10:30 thereabouts?
Were there any hard words? Quarrel, perhaps?
Absolutely not. Look, Inspector, I'm getting late. I have an appointment to go to, so please excuse me.
But you understand, Major Farrell. I'll need a full account of your whereabouts last night. Tomorrow morning, perhaps?
Yes, I completely understand. Shall we say 10:30 thereabouts?
Yes.
And yes, my solicitor will be present. By the way, Laura, is there something you want to say to this man here?
May I come of any help to you, madam?
We shall need no more help from you, Angel. You shall have a check for your wages ready. You can leave the house today.
Oh, very well.
Mrs. Warwick, did you see Major Farrell here last night?
I don't think Mrs. Warwick feels like answering any of your questions right now, Inspector.
Indeed, Mr. Starkweather. And what business is that of yours? Didn't we already clear you? What are you still doing here?
Yes, I came to say goodbye to everyone. Never expected to see the police here again. Why don't we leave them alone, once and for all?
I don't want to answer any questions.
Laura is quite right. We will not answer to the police unless in the presence of our solicitor, Mr. Adams. Penny, why don't you go upstairs and call Mr. Adams? Laura, my dear, go on. Go with her. I want to talk to Mr. Starkweather alone.
Oh, very well. But remember, we are closing in on this case very rapidly.
I don't know how much time we have, but I want you to help me, Mr. Starkweather. Now, there were two people who would not have shot my son. His wife and Miss Bennet. In fact, they were together when the shots were fired.
Quite.
Though Laura could have known who did it.
An accessory before the fact. She and Julian Farrar in it together. Is that what you mean?
That is not what I mean. Julian Farrar did not shoot my son.
Oh, how on earth could you possibly know that?
I do know that. I am going to tell you, a perfect stranger, but none of my family knows. I'm a woman who is not very long to live.
I'm sorry.
Richard had many fine qualities, Mr. Starkweather, but since he got stuck to that wheelchair, he had an enormous desire to hurt others. So others began to suffer because of him. Do you understand me?
I think so. Yes.
Now, I'm very fond of my daughter-in-law. She did everything a wife could do to make Richard's illness and inaction bearable. But he would have none of her help. He rejected it. I think at times he hated her. So when I tell you the inevitable happened, I think you'll understand what I mean. Laura fell in love with another man, and he with her.
Possibly. So?
So came a time when only one thing could solve all the difficulties. Richard's death.
And so, conveniently, Richard died?
Yes.
Excuse me for putting this bluntly, Mrs. Warwick, but are you confessing to murder? Mrs. Warwick?
I am not confessing to anything. I am merely putting before you a certain point of view. An emergency might arise when I am no longer here to deal with it. In the event of such a thing happening, I want you to take this. Do you see to whom it's addressed?
The Chief Constable? Yes. But I'm not very sure what you want me to do with this. For a woman, you can keep your secrets really well. Either you committed this murder yourself, or you know just who committed it. That's right, isn't it?
I don't propose to discuss this matter any further, Mr. Starkweather. You have been very kind.
I'll be damned. What a woman.
Where's the inspector? Did you see him? Michael, you must listen to me. Julian did not kill Richard.
Indeed. Did he tell you so?
You don't believe me. But it's true.
You mean you believe that's true?
I know it's true. You see, he thought I killed Richard.
That's not exactly surprising. I thought so too, didn't I?
But he couldn't take it. It made him feel differently towards me.
Whereas when you thought he'd shot Richard, you just took it in your stride without turning a hair. Women are wonderful. And what made him come up with the damaging fact that he was here last night? Don't tell me it was the simple love of truth.
It was Angel. He said he saw Julian here.
Thought I got away for blackmail. Not a nice fellow, Angel?
He said he saw Julian just after the shot was fired. I'm so frightened. It's closing in. I'm so frightened.
We'll be all right, I tell you. It's going to be all right.
Shall we ever find out who killed Richard?
Your Miss Bennett seems very positive that she has all the answers.
She is positive, all right. But she's sometimes wrong.
Come on now, Jane. Come on.
What is it?
Mr. Starkweather, in there, quick. Laura, in there, quickly. Quick. Quick. Now, come in, Jane. Don't tease me anymore. Come in. Come in. How did you get hold of that?
That you're so clever. Didn't you really? Locking up all Richard's guns in there. But I found the key. I've got the gun now. Just like Richard. I'm going to shoot things. Be careful, Betty. I might shoot you.
Why? You wouldn't do anything like that, would you, Jane? After all, you're not a careless little child anymore. You're all grown up now.
No, I wouldn't. I'm all grown up now.
Yes, that's why you'd only kill an enemy. You like shooting an enemy, right, Jane?
That's right. It's exciting to shoot an enemy.
And Richard wanted to have you sent away, just like an enemy.
Yes, he did. He was a beast. The worst enemy of them all.
But you didn't shoot him. Someone else did.
Who said someone else did? Perhaps it was me.
No, it wouldn't be you. You're just a little child. You wouldn't dare.
Is that what you think? Nobody knows what I'm really like. I'm dangerous. You know? You don't know everything about me, Benny. I know things that you don't know.
Yes, I suppose I don't know what you're really like, Jane.
Nobody knows anything about me, Benny. But the things I can do. Silly old Richard, sitting here and shooting at silly old cats. He didn't think anyone would shoot him, did he?
No, that was his mistake.
Yes, that was his mistake. You thought, Richard, you could send me away, didn't you? I showed you, Richard. I showed you.
Really, Jane? How did you show him? How did you?
Shall I tell you?
Richard did not know how dangerous you were. He must have been surprised.
Yes, you were. You were surprised. His face went all silly. And then he head dropped when it was done. And then there was blood. I showed him. Then he stopped moving. I showed him. He won't send me away anymore, would he?
No one can send you away now, Jane. Now, give me the gun.
Oh no! You don't! Nobody can take my guns away from me.
Jane!
If police come and try to arrest me, I shall shoot them.
Jane!
Silly old police! Silly old police!
Come back!
Old Richard!
Jane! Jane!
It's all right, Miss Bennett. You shall.
I thought at least you would be loyal.
There are times when truth is more important than loyalty. You didn't see, none of you, that Jane was growing from a sweet child to a dangerous adult.
What is all that commotion?
What happened? Who shot him? Oh my God.
The mist coming on, you see. It was very difficult to see clearly. She shot me up there, on the edge of the bushes. She shot at me twice. But second time, she got me in my hand. I tried my best to take the gun away from her, but I was too injured.
Her finger was on the trigger. In the commotion, shots rang out. She was shot right through the heart. I'm sorry to say this, but she's no more.
Oh my God! Oh, Jane.
Sergeant, let me take you to a hospital. Take care of you. I'm more than sorry to say this, but perhaps this was the best way out.
The best way out?
Yes. Yes. thinks she's out of it. Poor gal. Mrs. Warren, let me take you inside.
Perhaps we don't need this anymore. I'm very sorry, Laura. I know Jane meant the world to you.
Yes. Yes, Michael. I've lost everybody I loved in a couple of days. I've nothing to look forward to in my life anymore.
Let's not have any of that. What you've got to do now is live your life. I'll say goodbye. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
You know, Richard was right. Jane should have been sent somewhere, locked up, where she could do no harm to anyone. In a way, it was me who killed Richard. For being so obstinate about Jane.
That's what's eating into you, really, isn't it? Finding out that it was Jane who shot Richard. But it needn't be true, unless you like.
What do you mean? You heard? We all heard. She admitted it. She boasted about it.
Oh, yes. She's a potential killer, all right. But how much do you know about the power of suggestion? Your Penny played her very carefully. She dangled the bait and Jane took it. She was a hero, she shot Richard, but you don't know. None of us really knows if what she said was true.
Who else could have shot Richard?
My dear girl, anyone could have shot Richard. Mrs. Warwick, Miss Bennet, Julian Farrar. Why leave out McGregor?
McGregor? But McGregor's dead.
Of course he's dead. He has to be. Look here. I can put up a very pretty case for McGregor having been the killer. Suppose he wants to kill Richard and get revenge for the death of his child. What is he to do? Well, the first thing he has to do is get rid of his own personality. It wouldn't be too difficult to arrange for his own death in some remote part of Alaska. It'll cost a little money and some fake testimony, of course. And then he starts to build a new personality for himself. A new name, a new job somewhere. He keeps tabs on what's going on here, and when he learns that you have left Norfolk and moved to this part of the country, he lays his plans. He shaves his beard and dyes his hair and all that sort of thing, of course. And on one misty night, he comes here. Now, let's say it goes like this. Let us say McGregor says, I've got a gun, and so have you. I count to 3, and we both fire. I've come to get you for the death of my boy. You know, I don't think your husband was quite the fine, sporting fellow you think he was. I have an idea. He might not have waited till 3. You say he was a damn good shot, but that night he missed, and the bullet went out there, into the garden, where there are a good many other bullets. But McGregor doesn't miss. He shoots and kills, drops his own gun by the body, picks up the other gun, and goes out that door. And presently, he comes back.
Comes back? Why?
Well, Suppose he has an accident and cannot get away from here. What is he to do? Only one thing. Come up to the house and discover the body.
You speak as though you know exactly what happened?
Of course I know. Don't you understand? I am McGregor.